Good afternoon, coaches. So we are here today to listen to Neelam, and today's topic of discussion is going to be Chapter 5 from Biology of Beliefs. And yes, Neelam, over to you.
Thank you, Revati. So guys, so far what we have studied is what exactly does the author learned during his teaching of biology to the students who were non-biology, right? In chapter 1, we had seen why he chose this. Then chapter 2 was more about cell membrane. Chapter 3 was more about how he changed his perception about that DNA is not responsible for your structure or body or your problems, diseases, but it is your thoughts that are there. Right? In chapter 4, we had mostly seen the interaction between the environment. Now, in this chapter, what the author is trying to teach us is about the conscious subconscious mind, then placebo and nocebo effect. That's the basic summary of this particular chapter. So I'll just go slow with some GIFs or videos which I thought would relate to this particular chapter. Okay. So he says that your mind is over a body. Now consider yourself to be a single cell. A single cell, what it does is it responds to the stimuli. Once it responds to the stimuli, it is just a single celled organism. Once it senses that it is joining a community, it gives a response also, which we call as feedback mechanism. This feedback mechanism eventually goes into the two-dimensional structure or the cells that are adjoining it. Later on, as the time progressed, we developed from two-dimensional structure into a three-dimensional, that is a colony of organisms, and eventually the most complex brain that human beings have. So how this cell perceives things is the next set of discussion. Okay, so I'm just starting the short video. Can you hear the like volume?
No, Neelam, volume is not coming.
Let me share. Okay, even if it is not, I'll just read it out, whatever he's saying. So he's saying this is a single cell organism. No? It has no brain, no nervous system. It's respond to the environment. It is finding for food. It Okay, so what this particular video shows us that this is just a single cell organism. It is very tiny, but it has a response to the stimuli, right? Even if it does not have a brain, its cell membrane acts as a brain. As soon as it gets to find a food, it engulfs it and generates its nutrient. Even if it finds a danger, it changes the direction or diverts from that. So similarly, we have started with a complex behavior. Again, there is a short video in which we see that there is another cell. There was a response that there was some issue with that particular cell. It had given a feedback mechanism and all the adjoining cells started to change as per the feedback that that particular cell got. Okay. So this is what the author is trying to teach us here by these two experiments that he had done in his areas. Just give me this. Yeah. Okay. Right. So these are the two things that he had told. One, that we all are similar to a single cell organism. We do respond to the stimuli that are given to us, and eventually we send some feedbacks which causes adjoining cells to change as per the stimuli given. Right now, with these things, as mentioned, that we were single cells, then we turned into a two-dimensional space. For that, he had given an example of a bread mold. till the time the bread mold is floating in the environment, it does not get the right set of environment or a bread or a moist structure, it doesn't grow. But as soon as it falls on the right environment, it starts to multiply, it starts to respond, it starts to grow, it starts to build up a colony. This is how the cells respond to different things, right? Now, when this came to the three-dimensional structure, again, they were interacting with each other. Then there was an collaboration being made, something similar to what we call the algae and fungi response, usually which are present in the ponds, right? And later on, the brain developed, which is making us what we are today, right? Now, what did brain do? Before I get to this, there is one more thing I want to tell you. Now, what does a brain or a mind do? Now, we are not talking about the brain per se, we are talking about the intelligence of our body or intelligence of our cell. So, whatever we are doing, we are responding to these stimuli every time. So, there are some stimuli which are conscious, there are some which are subconscious, and there is some word that he has used as self-conscious or unconscious mind. How do we define this? Is a normal simple conscious mind is calculative. Okay, so it is all the time getting a stimuli from our sense organs, the eyes, the ear, the skin, the mouth, and we calculate things and we respond to that, right? Then there is something called self-conscious mind or respond to the stimuli. What he had mentioned is a Pavlov's dog experiment, in which whenever there was a bell ring, the dog knew that he is about to get his food, so he started to salivate. But this is not a subconscious behavior. It is just a response to the stimuli that he is getting. What exactly subconscious mind is, we are not even using 1% of our subconscious behavior, because that behavior is technically what makes us happy, what makes us heal, what makes our cells more stop aging or reverse aging experiences. So it's more like keeping ourselves calm and then responding. Acha, why are these experiments so important? The major reason why he had segregated conscious mind, self-conscious mind, and subconscious mind is there were some experiments that were done at that point of time just to ensure that we can figure out that our mind has more power than the body. So in one experiment, what happened is this cholera medicine was being tested, and there was one person who said that this medicine is bullshit, I do not believe in it. So, and there was one specimen left in which the cholera was already active, the cholera microorganisms are already active. He said, I don't believe in your medicine, and he drank cholera organisms. Everybody near to him was suffering with cholera, but this guy never had a suffering. He never had dysentery, he never had weakness, he never had anything. So what exactly was happening? Cholera was there, everybody knew it. It was just that his subconscious mind, which was against any such thing, and that is why he did not had any problems. Right? So that was not a self-conscious behavior, or that was not a conscious mind calculation. It was the subconscious mind healing power which get him out of it, right? Another experiment he beautifully talks about is that there was one person who has rats or the skin allergies, which nobody could cure, right? Now what he did is he's mentioning that this guy went to a hypnotist. That hypnotist actually made him understand that you can heal your skin disease just by focusing on healthy cells. So this guy easily came out of his rats. 99% of his body was recovered. But when this experiment was done on other people, we could not get the same response. They could not come out of their rats, or they could not come out of their health conditions. So this is what the author is trying to tell, that that was kind of a response to stimuli, not the subconscious mind power. The person who got out of his medical condition was dedicated towards his hypnotist. The rest were just a part of experiment. So there was no frequency matching between the doctor and the person who was suffering from disease. So this is what he is mentioning by saying that what your thoughts always are better, and when they club with the thought of the person who's healing you, it eventually turns into a health, right? So what's always mentioned is, yeah, that your thoughts becomes your action, which becomes habits, which becomes your character, and eventually the destiny is decided. So why this equation? This equation, as we all know, in Einstein equation, it always says that energy is equal to the matter with the light, the speed of light multiplied, right? So if our energies are higher, we can easily convert everything into reality, into matter. We start with frequencies, then we take actions according to it, then we change our habits, finally the character, and finally the destiny. In this energy that we are talking about, we are not talking about the energy of the self-conscious or unconscious mind. We are talking about the energies of a subconscious mind, which is responding to the healing. Guys, I just need stop here. I just need a small this is so far we are clear, because the next thing we are about to talk is something that is dependent on these things. So any feedback, understood, not understood, difference between conscious, subconscious, subconscious mind, is that clear?
Yes, Neelam ma'am, just that dog वाला picture ना, उसका meaning थोड़ा सा मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Great, thank you, Hina. So coming back to that, see what is happening is, in this particular experiment, what he had done is, there was this Pablo, what do I call him, as a scientist or as an experimenter. What he said is, whenever there was a bell ring, he wanted his dog to understand that bell ringing is a sign of letting him know that food is available. Okay. So what he did is, he rang a bell, show the food to the dog, and the dog started to salivate, thinking that his food is available. Okay. Now, after some time, say 15 days or 20 days or 1 month down the line, he never offered him food. He just rang the bell, but the dog could figure out that probably the food is available. He started to salivate. So that was his response to the stimuli, that bell ringing is kind of a stimuli. Okay, so with food or without food, the ringing of bell made the dog salivate. Hina, is that clear?
Yeah, so in first example, like it was just a sensory things. Our mind gets uh, what like the calculations with the sensory organs, right?
Okay.
So in the second one, it is just
Subconscious behavior. It is just a behavior. It is just a pattern that you are repeating.
okay.
Okay. Let me make it more clear. Okay. So now there is a kid who's studying in a class. This is not part of the book, so I'm just trying to help you out with that. There is a student who's in a class, right? Now he is taught to write ABCD, right? And eventually he starts to make sentences. So this is his conscious mind actively studying. Okay. Now in his class, another student, same like might be a twin. Both of them studying in the same class, everything seems, every structure same. Okay. Now both of them are taught that you have to give an exam. So they both are scared of the exam initially. Right? Now one parent teaches his kid that no worries, whatever happens, you just give the exam and be happy. The other student is taught, no, you would fail in the exam, you have to sit and study. So technically we are building their unconscious mind or self-conscious mind. One is happy, one is sad. Right? So that is the dog wala theory. That exam aaya, you have to be scared, or you're not to be scared. So that is your self-conscious mind or responding to the stimuli. So exam is your stimuli and how you respond is your self-conscious behavior. Now, what happens to the subconscious mind? These two kids both grow up. Okay? One kid who was taught that you have to be scared of the exam was never successful in his life. But the other kid who was taught that exam doesn't matter, you study with your happiness, whatever happens, we don't care. He eventually led a beautiful and a successful life. Right? So this is how your conscious, self-conscious and subconscious mind is generated. Okay? And getting results from a happier mind is more easy comparative to getting results from a scared mind. Right? I hope I'm making sense. Okay? So that's why I quoted that example of that rat thing. The person who came to the hypnotist got recovered because he had totally submitted himself to the hypnotist. But the rest of them were scared whether they would be, because to the every doctor they had gone, he said, you cannot recover. This is a lifelong disease. You would not be able to recover from it. So they had that self-conscious or unconscious behavior saying that they would never come up. So that is how this conscious mind works. Even now in our example, we say that this client who's coming to me, I don't know whether I would be able to take care of him or not. And there is the fall. Either the client goes or we fall out of it. And then another client who's coming up and we know that we have match up the frequencies. So joint frequencies, he would end up being healthy. Okay, making sense now? Great, thank you Sambodhi, thank you for that response. Okay, so why I wanted you to learn this is the next step, the energy matter thing. Because say even a single failure, in our case, if we fail once, we always think the next case we will fail. But the first successful case always ends up into a better, complicated results and everything. So that is what sir has always taught us about this particular thing. That if whatever you think would eventually happen in your life. So your thoughts, they become your action. Eventually, you have a habit of having all the successful cases. Once you have a successful cases, you would attract more such cases and you will have a beautiful destiny forward. Right? Okay. Now, again, he had taken another example of this cancer case. So there were people who were segregated into two parts. The cancer patients, they were given a red lens, and there were some cancer patients who were given a green lens. All the people given the red lens could see a very beautiful environment. Just imagine that you're sitting in a meadow, greenery all through, birds chirping, river flowing, mountains all through. That was in red lens. The people who were given a green lens, they had a very bad feeling, sulking, dry, barren land, fighting all over the places. Right? So later on, after 3 months of this experiment, these scientists could figure out the person who was having red lenses had almost reduced their cancer to 10% only. And the people having nocebo effect, like the green lens, they did not had a single change in their cancer proliferation. So they never came out of cancer, but the effect of cancer was highly reduced in people with red lenses. Okay, so this is what he's talking about, the placebo and the nocebo effect, the plus effect and the negative effect. Okay, that sugar pill experiment we always talk about in the placebo and the nocebo effect. So this was another, in cancer cases he had studied this particular thing, right? And then what they had done is something called time wrap experiment. In that time wrap experiment, what they had done is they could take out, is my screen still visible, right?
Yes.
Great. So there was another experiment what they did in a hotel. they had divided their cleaning staff into two parts. One had that they were motivating them that whenever you do a cleaning, your fat percentage dropped, your cholesterol is dropping, and you are getting healthier day by day. To one floor, they were doing this. To the second floor staff, they did not say anything. It was just their routine job, right? So after again, wait, 2, 3 months, 15 months, whenever they said, the people who were cleaning just for the sake of it had no change in their body. But the people who were given this appreciation that your cholesterol is dropping, your weight is dropping, you're getting healthier day by day, they started to have anti-aging effect, right? They got more healthy, they got leaner. They were doing both the same task. It was just one word of appreciation that you are doing better, eventually led up into that age reversal thing. Then again, there was another experiment that is mentioned in which what they did is there was an old age home. People went into that old age home. Some had an issue with their walking, some were walking with their sticks, some were on a wheelchair, someone having a pain in his shoulder. So all these 50, 60 people were sent to that place. And the major thing that was there was that was a black and white environment. Now the range of these people was 60 to 90 wala age group. And so they were sent in 1950s wala time, where all the books, all the magazines, all the videos, all the tapes were from 1950s. So what they ended up was that they were living in their childhood or in their adolescence, and everybody recovered at least 10 years younger. They started to look and feel. One person who came with a walking stick ended up playing basketball with his grandkids. There was one person who was on a wheelchair. He walked out with just a stick in his hand. The skin was glowing. Their eyes had a better vision. So these are all the experiments that these people have done just to prove that whenever you tend to get a positive environment, you tend to respond to that particular stimuli. So this was one particular quote that he had mentioned. Success is not the key to happiness. It is the happiness that is the key to success. And another thing that he had said is that stress is responsible for 90% of the doctor's visits, right? And the crux of the chapter is your belief carries more power than your reality per se. That is why this book is called Biology of Belief. So, four learnings in this chapter. One, that you respond to your stimuli based on whatever your conscious mind is teaching you. There are some things that are already mentioned in your subconscious mind, but then you are not actually taking care when your conscious mind takes over your subconscious mind. So what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to like give some task to the subconscious mind and very minor task to the conscious mind, right? Third, if you are happy, you would end up having better results comparative to everything. So what this guy did is he was always sitting with kids because kids makes him happy. Kids makes him feel younger. So we can have a company which is similar to this. And eventually success does not define you. The happiness which you get is something that defines you all through. So have happy thoughts which will eventually lead up to the best destiny in the world. That was that from chapter 5. So any questions? Most welcome.
So Neelam, ma'am, to like, I mean, if we want to, what we can say, ki, experiment on ourselves or like we want to improve ourselves. So like in one chapter, I don't remember that thing, ki, the auditing of our thoughts. I think that is the start we can do, right?
Right, right, right.
Just to take, I mean, take control of our thoughts. Once we start auditing, then only we can understand a negative and positive of our mind.
Absolutely. Okay, and then again, there was not in again this book. There was another book, Be Water, My Friend. In that, it was mentioned whenever you've given a task to the environment, do not just keep checking it again and again. Is it done or not? Is it would it be done or not? Have faith, have patience. It would be done for sure. So in that book, it has given an example that you had asked the chef to prepare a dish in a hotel. You're sitting in a restaurant and you've asked the chef to prepare a dish for you. Now you don't go in the kitchen again and again to check whether the dish is prepared properly as per your requirement or not. He would do his task and eventually it will be on your table. But you'll have to give time for it to be cooked properly. Right, Hina?
Yeah, ma'am. So that we can apply on our ours and the client relationship, right?
Absolutely. The
Like
better
we
it
have
is,
to
the
be
higher.
patient.
Go ahead, Hina.
No, just the second example is like initially we have that some fear that whether they will do it or not. So that affects our mind too.
Absolutely. Whatever fear you have, your patient would have double the fear because he's already suffering. Right?
Okay.
So with these cases, you have to take care of two things. One, you have to be patient. Second thing, you have to keep motivating them. If your weight did not lose today, no problem. It will happen tomorrow. Eventually, it will happen. Right? Even if it is 1 kg per month, by the end of the year, it will be 12 kgs. Right? So we can show them a bigger picture rather than just ballpark.
Yeah, and the keep that faith going.
Keep the faith going.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
Is there any
Neelam,
more
I would
question?
like to add one thing with the Pavlov's experiment. What Hina was asking, because this thing was unstable, so I joined through mobile data now. So in the Pavlov experiment, what we can also understand is that it is a very good example that the brain cannot differentiate between imagination and reality. So initially, the experiment goes like this: the food is being kept in front of the dog, and it sees that, which is in reality. But before that, there's a bell ringing on, right? So now, as time passes, it becomes so automated that with just hearing of the ring itself, the bell itself, the dog started salivating, but there was no food. Okay, so now this is a very classic example. So our body responds to both imagination and to reality in the same way. The dog salivates whether the food was present in real or it was like just assuming, thinking of that food, imagination, the saliva was still there. Okay, so this is also one of the things that we can use as an example to explain how the brain cannot differentiate between an imagination and a reality to our client. So that's the reason we are asking them to write, let go of, to unposted letter, whatever it is. Thank you, Neelam.
Like we have a thought like conscious mind and subconscious mind thought like that. You are saying?
Sorry.
Yes, Vijay. Conscious and subconscious mind only. See,
Yeah,
subconscious
always
mind
we
goes
have
with
a
the.
double talk. No, one side you can able to do it, one side you cannot able to do it like that. Double thoughts we have it. No, always.
Vijay, there are three types of minds. One is conscious mind. One is
Okay.
self-conscious mind. So if you are having a double thought, it is a self-conscious mind.
Okay.
Your subconscious mind would never have a double thought.
Okay.
Okay, because
So it will be
subconscious
very clear.
mind knows what is good for you, what is right for you.
Okay.
So when you're supposed to make a decision when you're not sure whether you would get it or not, then it is a self-conscious or subconscious mind that is unconscious mind that is picking up.
Okay. Unconscious mind and conscious mind.
Unconscious mind and conscious mind are always calculative.
Okay.
Okay, conscious mind is giving you every output which you are calculating.
Okay.
Okay, unconscious mind is making you do tasks based on what you had been taught prior.
Okay. So
Okay,
whatever the experience we got, accordingly, it will give suggestions. I mean,
absolutely.
thoughts. Okay.
Absolutely. Scared of
Okay.
exam, that has been taught to you. It is not a subconscious behavior. It is an unconscious behavior.
Okay. So
Okay.
the conscious mind clearly tell you can able to write exam well, like that. I mean,
That's the
I mean,
subconscious mind.
no, that's why.
Right. Conscious mind
Okay.
is telling you right. Okay. Now you know the answer is right, but you had been taught that no, you might be wrong. So you might end up writing a wrong answer. So that is an unconscious behavior.
So we have to train our unconscious mind properly
Every time.
every day, every minute.
For me, when I used to put a dot on my entrance exam, okay, my first thought was always right. But I ended up listening to my unconscious mind. No, it could be this also. So I used to mark the other answer. So that is my unconscious behavior, not the subconscious.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually all the exams we will do like that.
Jai Mata Di.
Yeah.
Best.
Yeah. Mostly all of the exams. And then if the choose the best, we will do. Typically, the unconscious mind answers only we will do it.
Absolutely. It is always unconscious mind that is doing that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Because after reading the chapter, I have some conclusion, and after seeing your class, I'm able to clarity a lot of the things. Thank you so much. And,
Thank you so much.
your slide is always good. Your slide and the Danya ma'am slide.
That's
Your
Danya's
playlist,
slide
yeah,
is brilliant.
Yes,
that's
so
right.
the more
Thank
I am learning this now, ma'am, Neelam ma'am, about the thoughts, like ki how it process, whether these thoughts are right or just it is creating fear or so. But I started noticing ki how it affects my body. Ki just even if I know that this is just a thought, this is not the reality, but that very moment or just a fraction of that time, somewhere I feel that butterfly, somewhere I feel heaviness in the chest. So now I started understanding ki how that traumas or long standing unresolved things, how it controls our body. So I mean,
Absolutely.
I started after so many months like into this, I started noticing, I don't know ki how we have to we can deal these things in a very short time with our patients, like it's very
Makes
difficult
sense.
to make others understand until we feel it now.
Makes sense. See, anything that is giving you a heavy feeling is not the right feeling because love, affection are always light. Sadness, sorrow is always heavy. So if you're feeling happy, you would never feel heavy, right? And that is a right decision for you.
Yeah, I mean, just to differentiate, because see, in the first way, it is like happiness or sadness. We deal as a like a layman, we deal with this too. But again, when we like started, I mean, focusing on our thoughts, whether this is real thoughts or it is just like as what we got from our childhood, that fear, like exam ka fear, kind of these things. So now more I understand, like I know, no, this is just my that fear thought is coming up. But even if I am conscious, but still that is like, giving little bit trouble to my body.
Absolutely.
It is not completely ki, maybe after a long practice, maybe I will able to make it easy. But I feel ki that giving stress to my body, even for a little time.
Absolutely. And that is what is covered in the next two chapters. giving heavy
Okay.
thoughts to your body, how to take like come out of it or how to take care of it. That is the next 2 chapters that he's dealing.
Okay, looking forward, ma'am.
Thank you, Hina. Any more questions? I guess not.
How we will get easy subconscious mind thought? Because always we have a lot of confusion. Okay, as Danyaka said, we will do the meditation. But it's not that much easy for her. It's see.
Okay. Which is just like now Hina said, that's something that is giving you a heavy feeling, or you are
Mm.
sulking, or you're giving it a second thought. Consider that as that is not the right thing.
Mm.
Okay. Just for example, picking a book, it is giving you a second thought. Don't pick it
Yeah.
up. Pick another book. Okay. Might be this book is not the right thing at the right time, but eventually you would end up having that book because that book is already there, but might be not the right time. Right? This book was there with me for 1 year, but eventually it got picked up in June
Okay.
because I had multiple thoughts. But now I'm finishing the chapters in a 1 day or 2 day, reading again and again. So first thought is always the sound of your subconscious mind. Always.
First thought always will be a
Is
subconscious
your
mind.
subconscious mind.
Okay.
Then the self-conscious mind and the conscious mind takes over.
Okay.
So just listen to the very first thought that you have.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Even
thank
this, there was this movie in which this guy says, if you have a doubt, toss a coin. By the time the coin is in the air, you already have the answer. Just follow that. Alright? So that's how.
Sure, sure, ma'am. Oh my God.
Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah.
So Revati, we are good to wind up. I guess Jyoti ma'am wanted to announce something.